There was a book written a while ago, the Mythical Man Month,
Mm-hmm.
and basically talking about the fallacy of, in terms of programming, like if you want to go faster, you just put more people in and you'll get the programs out faster. Where this book was advocating that programming was, well, it's been a while since I read it, so I'm kind of going based upon my memory, but they were advocating for the concept of like an operating room. And this book was written a while ago.
It's
So
been what, like 25
way,
years ish or
yeah,
something?
yeah, so way before Agile was on the scene. So they were advocating more like a operating room. So you have a surgeon, so that would be your essentially programmer, and you would have all these other people supporting them as need be to get the programming task done. So that was kind of advocating for a individual approach to programming. Do you have any thoughts on kind of some of that book? Because I think you said you read it at some point, but it was a while ago versus
Yeah,
pair programming.
it's been a day or two since I've read it, or decade or two. Um, but yeah, and I think a lot of my thinking on that comes from having been in this industry for over 20 years. I've seen a huge shift in the way people programmed in the mid 90s to the way people program in 2021. And it's because in the mid 90s, we weren't doing web development. It was desktop development, and it was very linear development. And there wasn't that much, comparatively speaking to today, there wasn't that much in the ecosystem that we had to know as developers. Whereas today, we've got UX people and database people and framework people and serverless people and people who know Kubernetes and people who know this and people in the amount of knowledge is huge, and one person can't do it. So the programming teams have had to go horizontal to do enough to do full web development. And so back when this book was written, that wasn't really a thing. And so programming was more of a vertical structure where you'd have like a junior programmer, a senior programmer, the CTO, and then the people to the on the horizontal axis were there to get the roadblocks out of the way for the programmer. But they were,
and they were talking about doing like the nightly builds and all the other stuff involved with that.
Right. And that's because, you'd have these monolithic builds into one thing. You didn't have, here's this microservice here that this guy's working on and this one that this girl is working on, and they all talk to each other and they have API endpoints. It's just, I got to build this thing. And so this monolithic block of code is all there is. And so it was a very different way of programming, very different architectures. And in that environment, the Mythical Man Month made sense, but it doesn't anymore because it's just the change in the nature of what programming is, especially web development. It's so horizontal with so many specializations and so much knowledge in each of those that you just can't follow those constructs anymore.
If you like this clip and want to watch another one, you can click right here, or if you want to watch the full video, you can click here.